it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor. Systematic oppression, leaving families torn. We was kings and queens the minute we was born. Treat us like a pawn, imperial like the lawns. If we ain't bearing arms, how we really strong? How we gonna go to war if our pockets ain't long? Create a black Wall Street, then they dropping a bomb. Manipulate the weather, man creating a storm. Hanging is a norm if you don't want to conform. Now cases is adjourned without a concern. Racism ain't genetic, it's got to be learned. That the jail was where they need to be without a return. They say it's free, but freedom simply got to be earned. Constitution in old ways simply got to be burned as the world turns. Research cause you got to discern. Study up, cause there's always knowledge to learn. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor. Why they claim peace instead they giving us war? Drew Ali is in my core, his principles not ignored. Love, truth, and peace is worthy to be explored. Freedom and justice essential so we can soar. As above, so below ain't a motto, but it's a law. Geometry sacred, this power can open doors. Why they mention in slavery, but not what happened before. If you want me to vote, reparations they need restored. We deserve more instead of being down on the floor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a
Islam, 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 Islam. Would it be like more bikes?
You
Islam,
already know.
brother.
Hey man, what's going on, man? Let's get to it. Ain't nothing but to do it. Before we get into it, man, I want to say a big shout out, man. I want to say my baby, he turned 6 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
So
My nephew turned 9 today, and I had another one June 3rd that
yeah,
turned 18, and I got one coming up June 8th. He'll be
damn, yeah,
3. He
yeah.
coming here to live with me for a while too.
Oh, that's alhamdulillah. Like shouts out to him. And I guess you know what I'm saying, my umis is the first. So shouts
Yeah,
out to them, man. You know,
yes, for sure.
happy solo return. Like I
Yeah,
said, I
happy
talked to my
solar
dude, he fresh
return.
off the press. You know, he got him some little cards and stuff. He said he want to go to Cry, get some roast beef and some pizza. So
Hey,
that's what my little
listen.
dude gonna
Hey,
get.
turn it up. Turn it
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
I ain't mad
yeah,
at him.
man.
He know what he want.
Yeah, man. I just talked to dude before this. So shouts out to them. And you know, I just wanted to say that real quick. But let's get into it. So,
Sure.
man, it's America Grow Some Balls times two today. So I want to speak on, I think Brother Muhammad and Brother Noble had told me about the situation with Rosa Parks. And I think it just came out not too long ago. Do you know about that? You probably know more than I do, Brother Muhammad or Brother Noble.
Um, yeah, I just heard about the guy who owned Little Caesars. The CEO of Little Caesars had paid for Rosa Parks' apartment and everything like that after she was, brutally beat by those chumps. You know what I'm saying? Who had no respect for themselves. You know what I'm saying? To do that to an old woman. So, yeah, that was pretty honorable. He's a European. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
with that being said, it was some, you know what I'm saying? It was some melanated people that jumped Rosa Parks, beat her, and took her, robbed her and shit. And then there was a European who, who paid for her. You know what I'm saying? Paid for her until her death privately. You know what I'm saying? Through a private trust that was created for her. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing how, or should I say, what we do to ourselves, and then I mean, that shit is just that blows my mind because a similar situation happened right here in Cleveland. You know, it was a restaurant known as the Nile Valley. In my opinion, it was like the best, you know, vegetarian, you know, Muslim eating spot or whatever, you know, and it was ran by an old lady who was definitely in her late 70s. You know what I'm saying? Her husband had transitioned, who also was, you know, part of, you know, who was the co-owner of the restaurant. He died. You know what I'm saying? Then it's a defenseless old little lady and some chumps beat her up and robbed her and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's her protection? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where's humanity? How can you, you know, how can you do that shit to an old woman for two, your own people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this shit is embarrassing and it's just terrible. But that's, you know, I don't really know what to say on that other than them people don't deserve to live for real. You know what I'm saying? Them type of people should be took out. So
Yeah, they
if it was up
should.
to me,
They
they
should.
heads rolling, guillotine, chop they shit off straight up.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
don't
Like, man,
don't
I don't
tell
give a
me
fuck
because
about them. Once you do some shit like that, kill them.
I say cut their dick
You know,
off and then let them live for like 2 3 days, and then after that, then kill them
you
so
know,
they eat like.
I'm all about compassion. Yeah, I'm all about compassion, but but for the compassionless, you know what I'm saying? I have no compassion for the compassionless. You know what I'm saying? Like it's reciprocal. You know, it has to be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? The word I'm looking for,
No,
reciprocatory. I believe the word is, but or reciprocal. Nah,
no, you
check
said
my
it
mental
It's
reciprocated.
facility.
Hey,
reciprocated. It's
Reciprocal. Okay.
reciprocated. Yeah.
that's the
Right.
word.
You
That's
get what I
all.
mean? Right. Right. Well, you know, that shit is just crazy, man. So, but what I don't know if y'all hinted on it. I apologize too for my tardiness today. I just got done cutting like an acre. You know what I'm saying? I was commissioned to cut an acre right quick. It was fun. I like cutting grass and shit, so I'm like, yeah, I do it. So my apologies on the tardiness on the show. Did you guys already touch on the brother Jamie Foxx?
No, no, no.
Okay, well, that's really what was, you know, that's really on my mind, you know.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let it rip.
Yeah, in my opinion, that right there is the most integral thing right now, man. They're basically trying to kill Jamie Foxx. You know, he outed that fag Puff, so-called Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying? And ever since he outed that fag, you know, all the rest of the coons have been coming out and showing their true colors, such as unfortunately Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson just kicked Jamie Foxx off of basically being him. You know, he's been training to be Mike Tyson for Mike Tyson's biopic. And now he
And it
just
ain't
took Jamie
nobody
Foxx.
better to do it. That's messed up.
Yeah, he took him off, and then your boy Dave Chappelle, you know, he stood up for him. You know, obviously Dave Chappelle stood up for Jamie Foxx, but that's a damn shame that Tyson is a fucking traitor. You know what I'm saying? Like you a race traitor, dog. Anybody that you know turns their back on Jamie Foxx right now in this time of need, I ain't got no respect for him. I don't give a fuck about their accolades. You know what I'm saying? When you do that shit, you know that it's no coming back from that. For real. Like
So
your honor has been totally disgraced when you do some shit like that. For real. In my opinion, that's in my opinion.
So I apologize. My phone just cut off. So Jamie Foxx being sick and Mike Tyson, you pretty much saying that Mike Tyson kicked him off as far as the role of portraying him, correct?
Yeah, he's not part of that anymore. And then it's been rumored that what's his face I said Dave Jamie Foxx is about to do a movie with what's her name, Celine Dion, something like that. No, not Celine Dion. What is her name? It's a Spanish woman.
Who? Jennifer Lopez?
No, not Jennifer Lopez. What is her name? It might be Celine Dion, but it might not be. But it's one of those. I'll get the
Celine
name.
ain't never really been known to
You can look
act.
into it. But it's a new movie that he was about to star in, and they forced him to take the COVID-19 shot. Right now it's 2023, and they have forced this man to take the jab. and because of that, he supposedly had a stroke, and he has went blind, basically. So
Damn, see,
he's
I ain't
partially
heard that. They
paralyzed.
saying he went blind.
Yeah, he's partially paralyzed and blind. It's all gonna go.
Hey, look, so check this out. For me, it's mighty strange, and that's why, I started hollering, you got to protect him, Tyler Perry, and a third person, because it's mighty funny to me that Tyler Perry, Jamie Foxx, and a third party was about to purchase BET away from Viacom, and now here Diddy and a couple of other people are front runners for buying it, and here Jamie Foxx is laid up. That's crazy. Same shit. Same shit with Dr. Cosby. Same shit. Same shit.
Yeah.
Same shit. Same shit. Dr. Cosby went to buy NBC, and here come all this bullshit.
What we need to do, in my opinion, because it should be about solutions, right? Melanated
Yep.
people with money and who have, like some connections to, you know, or not even just connections, because we want to connect ourselves with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So I would say beyond just connections, but melanated people with the whereabout, or should I say the wherewithal and the know-how to do this movie shit. Ones need to come together and do it themselves. Sort of what Tyler Perry did with his studio out there in Atlanta. I'm not too sure about his agenda because all his movies always portrays melanated men in a negative light. But the entrepreneur aspect of him getting his own studio, that's what we need to follow suit and do a whole lot more. And matter of fact, the one brother who was on what's it called, Meteor Man,
Yeah,
I
you
forget
talking
his
about
name. Yeah,
Robert
but he got his own
Townsend.
studio too. Yeah, he
Robert Townsend, yeah.
Yeah, he got his own studio and stuff like that too. He's just not a big name like Tyler Perry because he didn't play
Yeah.
his people. You know what I'm saying? Since he didn't
Yeah.
play his people to the left, he don't got that big publicity. So like people like
Yeah.
that is who we need to support. See what I'm saying? So we can start getting our own shit out here so they don't, keep on portraying us in a negative light.
Yeah.
And on that note, before I forget, on the America Grossing Balls aspect, I want to send a shout out to Terrence Howard, who had the balls to step away from Hollywood because of the fact that they keep on their whole agenda of feminating the melanated man, the so-called black
Yeah,
man.
he ain't
Putting in the
one.
dress and all that shit. He
Yeah.
has uh, recently left Hollywood and he started his, expose of Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? How they keep on trying to play us. So shout out to that brother Terrence Howard for
Yeah, that's
standing
my
strong.
homie from way back. That's my homie from way back. Yeah, big shout
Yeah,
out to
anybody like that, anybody I'm supporting. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Jamie Foxx, Tyler. I mean, not Tyler Perry, but shit, Dave Chappelle. He's always been my second favorite comedian, right after my uncle Big Red. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
Dave Chappelle's always been my second favorite. It's like it goes Dick Gregory, Dave Chappelle, and Cat Williams in that order for
Amen.
me at least. You know what I'm saying? People that ain't scared to stand out there and speak up for the people, man. I fuck with
Mm-hmm.
them.
You know. You know.
Remember the Shanquella story that we had covered not too long ago about the corny cousins that had that girl pay all their way, then they want to jump that girl and kill her and leave her body there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In
So
Mexico. We're talking about the
yeah,
Mexican shit, yeah.
yeah. So my thing is, shouts out to Miss Decisive. I didn't know this, but I just looked it up. So they thought that it was cupcakes and Hallmark cards. So pretty much they were dwelling around somewhere within a club in Greensboro, North Carolina. They fought the
They
living
got
fuck out
deported
of
back.
all three of them.
No,
You
they
said they
got
Shouts
what?
out to them.
they got jumped, Noble.
You said they got jumped?
Yeah.
Yes, bad.
Hey,
Damn.
I found
Well,
the better footage of it. You want me to play it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. All right, here we go.
oh shit. The light is off at 100,000 people. Great place for the light to go out, but I'm about to go. Shit. It's all on. Shit.
Now, this happened because people are frustrated about how the authorities are handling the case, and the streets are angry. But what does this mean for the Cabo Six, and why on earth are the authorities not charging the Cabo Six? So it looks like the streets are taking things into their own hands regarding Shanquella Robinson's case. It has almost been 7 months since Shanquella was unalived by her so-called friends while they were on holiday in Mexico. But there has been no justice for her. Now, for a quick recap, Shanquella took a group vacation to Cabo, Mexico with people she believed were her friends, but things got really bad really quickly. For one, it was so clear that she was the odd one out because there was a video of her friends gathered behind her back at the resort, and it looked like they were plotting against her. Keep it hot, what? They, when Gold said they crew. The one that's like mediocre is my champion. But it gets even worse because the concierge at the resort confirmed that they treated her like an outcast. He said, she seemed to not fit in with the others. When I introduced myself, she did not greet me or smile. She was indifferent, having nothing to do with the atmosphere of the celebration. She was out of place at that party. He also revealed what the Cabo Six did after Shanquella was pronounced dead. He said, I left that area and stayed outside the main entrance to give them space to mourn and grieve. Minutes later, I heard laughter. Well, they called her mother to inform her that Shanquella had passed away, but they lied and said that she had died from alcohol poisoning. So when they got back from the trip with her luggage, what did they tell you happened to your daughter? That she got sick from drinking. It was alcohol. And this turned out to be a big lie because her autopsy report listed her cause of death as severe spinal cord injury and atlantoaxial subluxation. That's a condition where unstable or excessive movement is present in the first two vertebrae of the neck. And it suggested that Shanquella had been the victim of a physical attack. And this made sense because the video that went viral on social media showed where Dejanay Jackson was beating Shanquella up while the rest of the Cabo Six watched. Now, I'm not going to play the video because it's just a lot, but I'm sure most of y'all have probably seen it by now. Her dad spoke to TMZ about how he felt about her murder, and it was just heartbreaking. I'm just angry, hurt, sad, all in one, man. So then the Mexican authorities took the case really seriously, and they announced that they were treating the case as a femicide. They also released a statement saying, this case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the detriment of the victim and against an alleged perpetrator, a friend of her, who is the direct aggressor. Actually, it wasn't a quarrel, but instead a direct aggression. We are carrying out all the pertinent procedures such as the Interpol alert and the request for extradition to the United States of America. It's about 2 Americans, the victim and the culprit. At this point, it was starting to seem like the Mexican authorities were taking this case more seriously than the American authorities. The FBI announced that they were investigating the case, and there were high hopes that Shanquella's family would have justice. The hopes got even higher when it was announced that Mexican authorities had filed a motion to have a suspect extradited to Mexico to face charges. But then the U.S. authorities were kind of dragging their feet on the case, leading Shanquella's family to write them an open letter where they openly named the suspect that Mexican authorities had. The letter said, the viral video showing Shanquella being in the villa while hit by one of 6 travel mates who was identified by a witness as Dejanay Jackson. The letter continued, as a result of the investigation, a warrant was issued for Dejanay Jackson by Mexican law enforcement, one of the 6 travel mates who fled to the United States after Shanquella was pronounced. Ms. Jackson was identified as the perpetrator of femicide against Shanquella Robinson, a homicide based on gender. If a United States citizen commits homicide in Mexico and returns back to the United States, as you are aware, they can face criminal charges in the United States under federal law or state law, depending on the circumstances of the crime. But then the United States authorities shocked everyone when they announced that they would not be filing any charges against the Cabo Six because there wasn't enough evidence. Even worse, there was no word on whether or not they were going to agree to extradite them to Mexico, especially Dejanay Jackson. This caused a lot of outrage online because there was nothing we could do but get really mad at the authorities. When asked about the extradition request, the Department of Justice released a statement saying the U.S. Department of Justice generally does not confirm, deny, or otherwise comment on the existence or non-existence of requests for apprehension from foreign governments. When an extradition request is made, that's simply asking the jurisdiction that receives the request for the police to pick this person up and turn them over to us. At this time, people had already lost faith in the system. They were accusing the DOJ of not being transparent about the process. It was even worse because the Mexican authorities had already concluded their investigation and allegedly ruled it as a homicide. Even more, they believed that they had more than enough evidence to charge the Cabo Six, especially Dejanay, with the murder. Well, people had finally had enough of the U.S. authorities and they decided to take things into their own hands. According to the people in the know, the Cabo Six had gone about their merry lives in North Carolina, confident that they had literally gotten away with murder. They had gone back to their regular lives like nothing happened, and this understandably made people mad. Well, the streets got together and decided to take things in their own hands and deal with it. Some of the Cabo Six were out in North Carolina a few days ago when someone at the restaurant recognized them and they got jumped. My name is
They was in they behind, Lord. Now they wanna throw in the educational commercial. Here we go.
Y'all, this was a very as I said, this justice prosecute the Cabo. Worse because it started that
Yeah, so the streets is dealing.
Well, all we have to do is pray for pain, because the thing about it is you're not going to sit up here and think that you can get away with something. That's why I always tell people about the laws of reciprocity. It may not happen when you want it to, and it may not happen the way you want it to, but trust me, when it happens, don't worry. They're gonna feel
Yeah,
so messed up. They ain't gonna know what hit them. And see, just when you thought it was sweet, just when you thought that you can go kick it like soccer, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. No, people are watching you. They're paying close attention to you, and they honestly know what you're going to do in your next move better than you do. So you better pay close attention. This should be a lesson to anybody. Don't come out here thinking you will do some goofy shit to somebody, no matter anywhere, without and think that you're going to prevail with it. So hey, I pray for pain. That's all I gotta say.
yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's sad. It shouldn't have never came. Even with the story, it's no point of being a dead horse. But that's just sad.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
getting
glad that our people handling it though.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the DOJ and people around and like them, like they want to see this. They want to see us take each other out. That's why they're not doing nothing.
Oh yeah.
They're supposed to be
Let's work with
deporting.
them, huh?
I said I heard. Dang, it's a whole.
You said they were supposed to be deported.
It's a big ass pit bull. But yeah, I heard they were supposed to be getting deported or some shit back to Mexico.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
Like so they can
Mexico
face
asked for the
justice down there.
extradition.
I mean, not
Yeah,
deported, but yeah, extradited, right?
yeah, because when they do that, because they know shit. Mexico get them. They not, man. Listen, that shit. They thought our president was bad, but that's a story for another day. But they already concluded with the case. And see, just like what Mr. Decisive said, man. But you know what? As we said before, it's gonna be some people that's gonna come along on the journey. It's gonna be some that need to wither away and die. It's unfortunate, but it's a realistic understanding. Everybody, everybody can't be reformed. Everybody can't be adjudicated. Everybody can't be
Well, it
saved.
ain't even about all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's more or less about off or not too. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do some horrible shit to someone, like for instance, if you out here raping people and shit like that, or you just taking, kidnapping children and shit like that. Doing fucked up shit to people, just torturing people for no reason. Who cares if you can be reformed? So the fuck what? You did the dirt, and so it's like now you
Exactly.
gotta
Not
pay the
after the
price.
fact.
Now you gotta
Right.
pay the price. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody
No,
don't even deserve that.
no, that's what I'm saying. We saying the same thing a different way, Aki. I said, because some people believe in the justice system to an extent to where, hey man, well, they did their time. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's not. That's my whole point. I'm driving that point across because everybody is not for reform. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the
Yeah.
same thing. We're saying it differently. We going about around the block a different way. I'm not listen. I pray for pain. I don't be on none of that shit. If you want to put something in these little children and shit, I got something for you. Don't even worry about it. You will wish you would have died when I get done. So yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I'm not on. We ain't on that sucker stuff. I don't play. I don't play none of that. When you think that, oh man, yeah, or you do something like that, the girl took you out, and then now you want to have the nerve to want to fight her to prove what? Your broke ass couldn't do that, and she still had a heart enough to take y'all out somewhere that you never probably would even see in your life.
On your own, right?
Like, come on, man. Your broke ass couldn't even go to motherfucking Canada, let alone fucking Mexico. So I digress.
Yeah.
I digress. So I wanted to get into another situation. As far as with, I know we've heard about this little story coming up. DC Young Fly's baby mama passing away under
Oh
the knife.
yeah.
How do you gentlemen feel about that? Or did you hear about that?
I recently had a BBL or something and died. Unfortunately.
Really?
Stop doing dumb shit. Hey, love the body that the creator put you in. So, hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is, unfortunately.
But see, what is the pressures of going under the knife for, and what are the reasons behind this? Because
The
I'm
reasons
noticing.
behind
Well,
it is dumb assism. Like, you know what I'm saying? The more that we don't correct people who do dumb shit, the more that they think that dumb shit is acceptable and it should be done. So they're gonna continue to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. Our music, our so-called music, which really is noise, like, oh, people like, man, you listen to that noise, they're fucking right. They're right. You know what I'm saying? And the so-called music that we listen to, majority, maybe not us on the phone, or maybe we just pick and choose here and there, but the vast majority of our people is promoting bullshit, like continuous bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, continuous, like, fake everything. No one loves the skin they're in no more. Like, and then we promote that shit. The wrong people have supposed power, no real power, in real life, but when it deals with bullshit, they have all that, powerful bullshit. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and she was just trying to get like some tits, some butt, some breasts, or I mean.
But who is she doing it for? She's doing it for who?
She was
DC
trying to.
Young
She
Fly.
was trying to get a mommy makeover.
A mommy maker. That's a thing now.
Yeah, where they get their butt and boobs and any tapestries around their waist or stomach area taken away.
Oh, I thought if you just work out, that could take away a lot of that. If you just put
Yeah,
that
especially
pain
for
in,
somebody like her. She
I,
wasn't
I
greedy.
it's a cheat sheet, man. We got to realize, man, and that
Well,
segues into another
cheaters never
situation.
prosper, so hey.
That
They a little
segues into
cheat.
another.
No.
That segues into another caveat that I want to talk about because it's like we
Suckers.
had.
So we should talk about DC Young Fly being a sucker, allowing this girl to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? With the risk. Like, what's the fucking point? Like, talk your girl out of that shit. Tell her how beautiful she is in her naturalness. You know what I'm saying? Give her the support that she needs, you know what I'm saying, to have her own volition to pick up when she needs to, you know what I'm saying, to get the body that she wants, or at least close to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the encouragement comes from the home as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she's at fault for doing that shit to herself. But shit, if you really love your woman, then tell her about herself.
I
I mean, that's
can't. I
partially his responsibility as well. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but
Like,
I
you know,
can't. I again, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you're wrong because I agree in that aspect. I don't. What I will say is this: I don't have enough information bestowed upon me to speak as to whether if he didn't or if he did. So I won't
well,
speak on that
obviously he
subject.
didn't because he's famous, she's not. You know what I'm saying?
That
So he
that
has
may
the
not
power.
necessarily be
He
that may
does
not
not.
necessarily be true. That's mere speculation. We assume because she went under the knife, we don't know that. So I don't want to speak
No, no,
on
no, no,
that.
no, 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 I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying, brother, is this: DC Young Fly, we know his name. What's her name?
That's not the point.
Jackie
We know
Smith.
that,
That's
but
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying,
So
we can't
he had
speculate to
the
see if
power
he
in the
did or if he
situation to a
didn't.
certain extent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Did she paying for her own BBL? Is she paying for her way out of the country to do this shit? No. You know what I'm saying? She's with a celebrity. And most likely, 9 times out of 10, he supply her with the ammunition to go kill herself. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, she did that for him or for another DC Young Fly. You know what I'm saying? Like the image. See what I'm saying? Like, it's partially y'all fault for promoting that shit. Maybe not the people on the phone, but you know, it's our fault. Like right here, look, we kicking, we kicking.
So
Look,
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? Like that's what they want.
Mm.
yeah, again, like I said,
Man,
I understand that perspective.
shit's
But like I
crazy.
said, I can't specifically say
Yeah, I
as to
know that.
whether
I'm not saying you can't,
if he
bro.
did, if he
Not,
didn't.
really not. But that's just what it seems if you really look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, females do a lot of shit, but if you wasn't rich, then how the fuck is you affording this shit? You know what I'm saying? So the
Yeah.
man that you are doing this shit for supports that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a two-way street.
It's
It's how they
actually a
say it
method
takes two to
according to
tango
the
and shit.
Ports
You
and
know
the
what I'm saying?
Income
So
Tax
these
Code.
females think that they need to do this shit to their bodies because of the men that they choose to chase after, you know what I'm saying, want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like the men that these women choose to chase after a lot of times are infatuated with whores. You know what I'm saying? So now the female, she feels as though she has to emulate this whore to get accepted by this rich man or popular man or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a trickle down effect. It's kind of both. And then with the advent of the super salacious female rappers continuing to promote it, and now you know they're getting more and more of the limelight to show more and more girls like, hey, this is the way to be. This is the acceptable way when it's really not. I mean, that's where the double-edged sword is getting cut from both sides. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's both. The
Yeah.
over masculinity of females in today's world is causing this shit like this license plate right up ahead. Miss Flex. Who you flexing with? All right. I thought that was a man thing. My females flex. I mean, so you know, shit like that. What about King Von's girlfriend? Is that his baby mama? I don't know if they had kids, but she's now the queen of drill, I guess. So she's jumping around with a M16 and shit, talking
Mm.
about shooting up ops. What the fuck?
Mm.
So we allowing this dumb shit.
Mm.
You know, the more that we don't talk about it in the aspect that it is, we allowing that shit. So we can't really be mad at no one else but ourselves. We keep allowing this shit. You know what I'm saying? We keep allowing this shit. The people at home, like, you know what I'm saying? We not protesting like we don't want this shit. Take this off our TV, take it off our radios. Like, we're not doing it. So they think it's cool. So
Yeah.
it's continuing like it is cool.
So I say this: in introspection, it begins with understanding. It begins with self. First order of business is you have to understand that you have to come to terms with the fact that there is a problem, and the problem is it's like we don't have enough self accountability in order to
Mm-hmm.
move forward. We can't sit up here. Yes, and that is true. These factors do apply, but the first person that you need to conquer is the one in the mirror. And regardless of any situation, you have the inability to have a choice within the matter of what you want to do and which way you want to go. And I understand, people do, and I understand, and I'm not disagreeing with the influences, but it has to start. You have to start to want to realize that you have a problem. And if
Mm-hmm.
you can't
Personal
see that you
choice.
have a problem, if you
Right.
can't,
But it
if you
also
can't,
needs to be put out there like that too.
well,
You
yeah,
know
it
what
need to
I'm
be
saying?
put out. It got to be put
What?
out, but at the same time, you have to do your own work too, because
Right,
it can
right,
be
right.
put out there, and there's people that's not still not ready for the fact that they don't want to sit up here and face what they have in the mirror. The first person you got to conquer is yourself. It needs
Right.
to be put out there. So then that
Well,
again, it
that's
goes
what I
back to
mean.
what
It
I
needs to
said.
be
You got
put
to
out there.
plant a seed.
The,
You
the
plant a
conquering
seed,
of
and if
one
it
of
grow, it
self.
don't.
Right. The conquering
Yeah.
of self is what need to be put out there. Is what I'm saying. Like the message that
Yeah.
you're saying is not broad enough for the people. Like the people need to hear that. Like you know what I'm saying. Like right now, we're speaking on this. Our listeners hear what we're saying. You know what I'm saying? But what about the supposed or proposed, you know what I'm saying, so-called leaders of the so-called community and shit? What the fuck are they doing? You know what I'm saying?
We
That's
can't.
what I mean. Like we speaking the
Yeah.
right shit, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, how far does this message go? You know what I'm saying? What ears does this hears this? You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that's the part that I'm talking about, man. Like,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
I get it.
accountability is definitely a thing. But you know, as a community, we must have accountability for the whole goddamn community. You know what I'm saying? And once upon a time, you know, the older generation, the elder generation used to say that it takes a village to raise a child. We lost that aspect. We need to regain that somehow, some way. And it starts with, you know what I'm saying, getting to know your neighbor or some shit. Changing these hoods back in the neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like at one point in time, we lived in neighborhoods. Now we just live in hoods because niggas don't know their neighbors. Excuse my friends. You know, people don't know their neighbors. You know, and that's a small portion, but it's the small things that count because they add up to a bigger thing. You know, like crazy.
I just think about it, going about it in a different way. Like, and I understand, the message needs to be broadened. But again, I used to be that person on the line trying to get, and it takes away sometimes what even like we can't even. I'll say this: we shouldn't be worried about what the so-called whomever leaders are because we already know most of them are corrupted anyway. They don't give a fuck about if nothing else. Bottom line, we can't control that. But what we can control is the narratives and the things in which we can reach tangibly ourselves, and it has to start with ourselves. Now,
Right.
we
Well, we
can't tell
ain't
we
doing that stuff. All right. We good. You know what I'm saying? We good on this line. You know.
right. But again, the best we can do, like I said, we go as far as we can, and we inspire and try to ignite the flame. Hopefully, one day it ignite within the person. And again, to the so-called leaders, like I said, fuck them. Because if we waiting on them, we'll be waiting for all eternity. Fuck them. We What have they done at this point? Because if we're vastly waiting for them to do some shit, we gonna be waiting forever. That's the equivalent of waiting for Yeshua or Jesus. You'll be waiting. You will be waiting.
Right. Well,
But also wanted to talk about something since we're talking about that subject right now, and I think this is important right now. Um, well, no, let's talk about John Morant too. Like, what's going on with this dude?
who
And
cares? He's a clone. He ain't himself, man. But just buffoonery, just buffoonery, shit like that. That's what I'm talking about. He's
and
a fucking buffoon. So he makes all melanated people look stupid. Because at the end of the day, even though we're not doing the same shit he doing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He represents for everybody. Not really, but you know what I'm saying? That's how they put it in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? So buffoonery like that is the shit that we should shoot down. Like, once is giving the dude a whole bunch of chances and shit like that. So he keeps doing buffoon shit, and it's embarrassing. But who pulls this dude coattails and let him know, like, bro, you tripping? Sit your
Well,
dumb ass down and play the fucking ball game, or get out the sport and get out the limelight, because you're making this look dumb.
well, and you
Straight up
can't
and down.
argue with a buffoon when you come from parents that allow that. So you have a lineage of buffoonery. What do you expect? And the thing is this: even with that being stated, there are certain things that we have to really showcase more within the community that we can control. Like everybody think you're supposed to play ball, what I'm saying, run through a line of scrimmage and rap. There's other things that we can do, and we have to stop putting so much faith within the athletes and the entertainers because they don't mean us no motherfucking good. Most of the ones that are on the top upper echelon are compromised anyway. This is an example in which people we shouldn't even pay no close attention to. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I'm bringing light to it because this is a prime example of how they want to perpetuate, because you have the Jesuits and the Jewish owners that own 90%, if not 100% of all the teams, and yet we don't have a person that looks like us owning anything. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
that's all
this,
our fault too. Personally, it's, at this point, it's our fault because we keep on, funneling our people right up in that system. You know what I'm saying? Like we keep pushing our people there as opposed to pushing ownership. Like what Master P and what Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? They're on about ownership within the sport. And who else? The Rock,
Right.
Dwayne Johnson. Don't he have like he got like arena football? You know what I'm saying? Like doing our own thing. The more people, the more melanated people.
Antonio Brown too.
Right,
yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to do more of. The more that we, subject ourselves, you know what I'm saying, to their system, whether it be even sending your, I mean, unfortunately, but sending your children to school. You know what I'm saying? Is you're literally allowing the oppressor to raise, teach, and indoctrinate your children. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what the brother Umar Johnson talked about with his little school was dope. You know what I'm saying? Now that's something that we need to expand on. You know what I'm saying? In different places, different arenas, so we can come to a different situation. And it all starts with ownership. You know what I'm saying? That's the highest level of competency that we're ever gonna have with our community when we own ourselves, when we own our schools, when we own, our healthcare systems and different things like that. That's the real solution to that shit. Because the longer that we allow our supposed enemy to run anything, any aspect or any facet of our life, that's not elevation. You know what I'm saying? Like just the saga continues, the cycle continues until we change that aspect of it. We can talk about everything until we blue in the face, but until we start owning our own shit, then it's gonna, you know what I'm saying, continue to be in this perpetual cycle.
yeah. I'll just say, for anybody that does go to school, I'm not gonna knock them, but I will say this: just be mindful as to what you're going to school for, and remember whom you're doing it for. Because I understand that there are some people that have actual natural gifts, and I understand that there are people that were literally put on this earth in which to do that and showcase their greatest gift to everybody in the world. But understand and don't forget and get caught up in the hype of what you can be or what they want you to be versus who you truly are, being true to
Mm.
self. And this is an example for me of bad parenting, because I did a little research on it myself, and there's been a caveat of instances with this dude. For example, it was just a situation. His mama and his umi is rashy as fuck. Um, they usually I think his sister or his umi, she got into it with a dude, and then she told her son, and then not too long after, he came with a entourage of people. The incident at his house where
Oh
he
yeah.
up pipe on the dude, and he said he was lying. It's been another instance where his father got in. He got it. They got into it at an alleged game. They came to, I want to say, a sister's game or something. And then his entourage got to putting hands and feet on people. It's like, dude, like you trying to act and see. He even got checked. Not I ain't gonna say got checked, but he threw up some gang signs, and then he got to doing this, and it's like my thing is this. I don't support that, and I'm not promoting that. But what I will say is some people out here that will die for that, and he pretty much got checked. Hey,
He did
he got
just
checked by
that.
some peoples on the south side Crips because the thing about it is this is not nothing to play with. Regardless of what you may think is cute, this is not cute for a person that's in the war zone that really thinks it is. Regardless of how despicable or disgraceful in certain instances people may portray it to be, it's still a lifestyle. And if you partake in it, you're gonna partake in all aspects. So you can't just come in here and be what they like to call it in the street is a party crip. You can't come in and party when it's convenient to step out. It don't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that, I don't agree with it. And it's like the parents are pacifying this type of behavior. Your son has millions, and he is literally his own enterprise, and yet you perpetuate this as if this is the lifestyle that he should be portraying. And yet, if it couldn't be my son because I'm pulling him right at the coat. What the fuck is you doing? Well, bro, you are not built like that, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. It's nothing wrong with that. Everybody ain't gangster. Just like everybody's not an engineer. Just like everybody ain't good at hooping. Just
Ain't
like
everybody
everybody ain't.
truthful too. I
Yeah.
hate that. I hate that about life because it happens in this life, in his life. Where you got people around you just gonna keep feel like they go and then they go back and talk about you when they get home. That fool is on some bullshit. You should have told him that to his face though.
Yeah, I agree. And you want to sit up here and carry out on the situation as if, my thing about it is this. And of course, I blame him, but I also blame the company that you keep. Because to keep
Mm-hmm.
it all the way live, my dude wouldn't sit up here and show me showcasing no gun. Not to say that I would do anything stupid like that, but if we go do something in a private manner, we shouldn't be even posting that shit or doing nothing like that. Why would you even show that? That's
But
nothing to
wait a minute,
be.
have you seen the video? Because in the video, to be quite honest, you can't blame the friend. They was up there chilling, rocking out to some music, and then here come this fool with a gun. And as soon as he pulled that gun out, dude put the phone away. And you could tell he told him, "Hey, what's up? Put that thing away." Because when he pulled the phone back up, Jock was sitting there with this butt fuck look on his face.
That shit ain't cool, man. Everybody think it's cool until you get sent to the upper room. That shit ain't cute. It's not. Ain't nothing cute about that shit. It's nothing that you should be, especially when you got millions, man. You
Mm-hmm.
could pay for people to put things in a certain perspective or whatever you got to do. You too late in the game to be trying to get street cred, and you got millions hooping in various different states on a day-to-day basis. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You're a fucking idiot, man. Like
What you
seriously.
talking about right now? You talking about the rant dude?
Yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
like going
Uh,
delving into it a tad bit more because this isn't the first. This is just the
what do you
incident
play
where
for? What team do you play for?
the
Memphis
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I got another question for the good people. I want to caveat and segue into this. Like, and I've been pondering on this. It's like I noticed this. Why does our people always think that it's time to have fun when enough things aren't accomplished? And I noticed this. I noticed this within my own family. I noticed this with individuals. I noticed this on a day-to-day basis, and I understand that we know what the cause of, but I just maybe because from my perspective, I can't understand it. It's like we're in a celebratory mindset, but nobody's accomplishing shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck is going on? Like, is it always time to turn up? It's cool to turn up, but see, my thing is this: you turn up when you've accomplished something that's worth turning up for. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you have all. I tell anybody like this: you have all day to sleep when you're dead. You know, and don't get me wrong. I look at it this way too, because even in our journey, even in my journey, I look at it this way. It's not even about competition, but it's like it's people that have been here longer than I have that understands the vast knowledge in our and is currently implementing what we're talking about right now. And Do you think me coming in to the tail end of it, trying to understand it more, is enough to accomplish? No, that's not. Sometimes people don't even accomplish even what they want within a lifetime, and they still do their best. Look at Dr. Henry Clark, John Henry Clark. He took literally his whole life dedicated for our people to have a great interwoven understanding as far as what is to be done, what has been speculated versus the work that he's not only accomplished, but the work that he's discovered with our people in genuine honesty. He didn't stop until he got sick enough to the point where he could no longer do it. This isn't the time to celebrate. And yes, we celebrate the small wins when we can, but all that other kicking this shit for me personally, that shit doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, you gotta let your hair down sometimes. You gotta lighten up a little bit though, brother.
For
You know what I'm
what though?
saying?
We
Like
haven't
being
even
being in
accomplished
a
shit.
constant state of stress, you know what I'm saying, is unhealthy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And
I don't agree with what you're
do
saying.
anything. Well, what I'm saying is this: we have to at times also let our hair down, but they've taken it to, we as a people, we've taken it to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? Like we are under stressful times and shit. So like it's like cause and effect, you know what I'm saying? In the aspect of like overworked people, the stressful aspect and shit. That's where the celebrity aspect comes from. Plus, we're also, we're a jovial people. You know what I'm saying? We're a happy people in general. You know what I'm saying? We were the first people on the planet to party. You know what I'm saying? We was the first people. So it's in our nature. You know what I'm saying? Like all these dances. You know what I'm saying? Whether good or bad, that we come up with. It's part of it. It's in us. You know what I'm saying? Like um, that was a way that we were usurped. Actually, one of the ways that we were tricked, was the simple fact that um we're good natured people. You know what I'm saying? Like you heard the stories of the smallpox blankets. Like we taught these so-called pilgrims how to eat and grow food and fish and shit like that, and then they gave us smallpox blankets to kill it. You know what I'm saying? To fuck us over. So um, that good nature that we have, it's still exemplary today. You know what I'm saying? So you absolutely right. A lot of times we celebrate when there's no need to, but we are a celebratory people. You know what I'm saying? Like we show the rest of the world how to have a good time. So we shouldn't shun that, but we should balance that. You know what I'm saying? We should balance that with, the aspects of responsibility and doing the things that we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So this part of us as
I
a people.
couldn't I couldn't agree with you more in that aspect. I just view it differently because I come from a group of individuals that kicked it. I remember listening to Pac, and he said Death Around the Corner, uh when he said, you know what I'm saying, he said a line to the extent of coming down when he was early as a teen, stepping over bodies in a drunken stupor, naked, doing all types of shit like that. And that resonated with me because it's like, damn, I see these people at the age of 10, 11, and 12. Even I go as far as 14, always kicking it, always, hey, man, who gon', man, I remember, I'll never forget.
Where was their
My,
direction at though?
they
You know
had
what I'm
none.
saying? Like
They
right,
had none.
right. And
And
who gives a child direction but their parents? So you have to take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Like
I can't give that an excuse.
not an
I
excuse.
understand
It's
that.
just looking at it for what
I
it is.
understand that, but to an extent, person has the right for choice. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
sit
but
up
you
here
also
and
have to
write
be
that off.
presented those choices. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that sounds good, but everyone wasn't presented with the same, same choices.
I mean, I
Like,
could say the same thing. That still doesn't make it acceptable to be a party fucking animal and not accomplish anything.
right.
It could be spent both ways, because if you do that shit, I mean, it's been proven. You're gonna party, and as an end result, we could even see it from our grandparents. They kicked it. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s, they kicked it. Before them, they kicked it. Jim Crow kicked it. And they got what? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should be a stick in the mugs. I jug and I do my thing too, but it's like at least if you get to a certain level, you feel more accomplished when you know that you have things that you can actually afford or allot or be able to celebrate over. All this just being drunk
Like
because
what
it's
you
the
doing out kicking it
subculture.
with the lights about to get cut off?
That's what I'm saying. Shit like that, or you kicking it, and then you got many people that usually kick it 9 times out of 10 because they're running away from problems. They don't know
Right.
the way
Yep.
in which to deal
And
with
that's what
their
I was talking
problems.
about.
Yeah,
That's what I was talking about more.
yeah,
We've been through so much. That's where like other ethnicities look at so-called African American black people or whatever as lazy as fuck because everyone has been through their own trials and tribulations and their own form of slavery. You know what I'm saying? On the low, like Asians been sent here as slaves even before we did. You know what I'm saying? But anybody talking about that, it's not popular to talk about. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's why the rest of the world look down on us because of what you're talking about. You know how we celebrate, we partying and doing all this dumb shit. And we're not accomplishing shit as a people, as a collective. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you absolutely right. And the flip side of that coin is that we're good natured people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're so pulled away from our original selves that we don't even know how to balance the responsibilities of the day-to-day aspects, you know, so with the aspect of letting our hair down as well. Because again, we're the first people to party on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So it's an imbalance. And that goes along, you know, it goes back into the William Lynch aspect where, you know, you got the strong male mentally stupid. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the overworked woman because she's put in a situation where she has to take the more masculine role in the family and shit based off of how society set the shit up for her to do. And that shit becomes overwhelming. And now she turns to that bottle. Now she turns to that party because that's letting her hair down. Like him. You know what I'm saying? Because she ain't got that man at home to wherever female she get off work or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because society has told her that it's weak as a woman to be feminine to allow the man to do it's like it, it's a cycle. You know what I'm saying? It's a cycle. And one thing is cause and effect. Everything is cause and effect. One thing leads to the next. So we got to stop one problem so the next one doesn't appear. You know.
no, yeah, no, I can't debate that. I can't debate that. Here's another situation that recently occurred. I think Brother Muhammad was telling me about it when we talked about it the other night. The NFL player that had he had a girlfriend, I want to say. Friend, he didn't know that she was married, so he immediately just started doing his thing and cut her off. So because she was salty at the fact that he had done that, she had some goons, aka her family members, come out to his house with guns and things of that nature. And she even has said and spoken of, and even has sent texts talking about shoot it up and things of that nature. I want to say pretty much what happened. They came over his house, 3 left, 2 ran out, and it's sad. But like I said, I can't blame the man for doing that. And then yet the woman had chose to opt out, like she didn't do anything or it wasn't because of her. And I just wanted to shed light on that. You know, we have to have a certain level of responsibility, both sides. You know, understanding and recognizing the problem of a problematic person. First of all, the telltale signs can be there. We choose not to want to see them, and it's understandable. We all fall from grace, but in the same sentiment, being truthful and being upfront enough to say, "Hey, man, I'm in a relation. Hey, I'm in a marriage, or hey, I'm doing this. Did you still want to mess with me? Hey, this got this going on."
Well, the
You
thing
know,
that brother Muhammad brought up was the simple fact that they're debating on how they should handle the situation afterwards because he killed one of the motherfuckers who ran up in his house.
oh yeah,
And they like act, you know, as if he should be in trouble. So he must you know, domicile in the state that's retarded. You know, there's a few retarded ass states out here that don't. um they don't observe or should I say they don't respect self defense. You know what I'm saying? But
Indeed.
naturally they do. It's called a Second Amendment right, shit like that. So
Hmm.
he should win. Plus, if he's rich, I mean, I don't even understand how these rich people lose anything. It's called a fucking lawyer. If you're not a national, you just part of the system, and you go by the system, and go by the system for real, and use a fucking lawyer. You got the money, pay for a lawyer, and win the fucking case. I mean, it's not that hard. And shit, you got enough bread, whack the bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's called assassination. Take her dumb ass out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just it's a fact. I mean, you say I'm fried, but I'm serious. It's a heart attack. They don't make movies like. I mean, it's something. I mean, it's a little homework for the people today. Look up something called Blackwater. You know what I'm saying? Blackwater was or is a mercenary group that if you have the bread, you can buy them, and they'll kill some shit up for you, or they'll protect you, or they'll do whatever that's needed if you got the right amount of bread. And the dude Trump was wise enough to purchase Blackwater. You know what I'm saying? When he first became president, so they wouldn't assassinate him. But so it's really just like that. It's really straight like that. Like shit like that. I'm fucking with a chick she married, and then I find out she married. I leave her alone, and now she want to send people at my house. Bitch, you got you got hell to pay now. What the fuck you mean? Nah, you know what I'm saying?
No, no, it's a sad.
You got
Go
hell
ahead,
to
Will.
pay.
They got a whole show dedicated to that shit. It's called Snaps.
Right, but that's
Mm.
Snap is motherfuckers going to jail. You got a whole nother thing called contract, and contract. You pay for that contract, and then now no more situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I get it.
it's more than one way
Uh,
to spin the top.
it definitely is. I won't disagree with that. I want to get into a couple more things before we get off. I want to send a shout out to Miss Tina Turner. She passed away.
Right.
Great woman. Uh, I think she just got did no, she been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But what I didn't know is she had a son. I want to say last year committed suicide. Another one that passed away. Two of her sons preceded her in death before she was, and I know she was going through pain, and she was also sick prior.
Right.
She's been fighting that for quite some time, and I guess they kept it under the hush because she recently, I think she said as soon as she got remarried, she had a bout or something. I don't know to what extent it was.
Right.
So I want to give her a shout out and things of the nature. Also, uh, Malcolm X Day had passed. I want to say a month ago on the 19th, and I wanted to give that a shout out as well too.
We did.
Uh,
Because that was the same day that Jim Brown transitioned, my brother.
did it? Okay, yeah,
Yeah, we
it
did.
was.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
Yeah, we actually we were in the studio, not remote. That day.
Okay.
Now.
Right. So one more thing, before we get out of here. Um, this was a nice, even kill and fast show. I appreciate it. We did that. I wanted to talk about. We've talked about Malcolm, and that kind of threw me off because I was a bad parent, and
Hmm?
I'm pretty much thrown off. I mean, I got okay. So I wanted to talk about it's a show, like I said, I talked about it the other week. It's interesting. It was a situation with a dude. Well, it's about 2, 3 seasons ago. I want to say 2019, 2000. Yeah, 2019 was on Netflix. Uh, Married at First Sight. They had married a guy named Brendan and Taylor. Interesting because it was a situation to where she was disrespecting him at the house. And I found this interesting because had it been on the reverse, it would have been a situation. So pretty much he was ready to leave. She disrespected him. She said all types of things. And he had literally told the cast, like, if this was me, I would have did, A, B, and C. She's following him in the bathroom. I want to say pretty much not letting them out, yelling at them, talking to them any type of way. The producers are there. He just wants to leave.
And
And
that's
I believe
the show Married at First Sight or something.
yes,
Shows
yes.
how
And
stupid that is.
you
Yeah,
know,
Married at First Sight. That's the dumbest shit ever. Go ahead and
I
marry
don't think it
somebody for the
is.
fun of it. But it is because it takes a lifetime to get to know yourself. You for damn sure about to meet and know somebody and get to know all that shit. That's some dumbass shit. And that's why I said the marriage is probably failed, most of it.
No. I'll politely agree. I respect your perspective, but I politely agree to disagree
That's cool.
because when you got people that are out here that are choosing these motherfuckers how they are anyway, and one thing that I've had said because I've been doing a lot of footnotes with it, it's interesting when you are truthful as to who you are and not having the representative show up. Best case scenario, they usually are right. It's really no different than orchestrating an arranged marriage when done the right way. It really is the same instance. The difference is you don't see the person until
Uh,
then.
it's different. It's much different than it's similar, but also very different from an arranged marriage. An arranged marriage, they actually know the individual. They know the other party, or they know about the other party, and they're only arranging the marriage because the other party has some respectable qualities about themselves. They, plan to integrate into their family. So it's quite different than married at first sight. Someone that you're contestants on a game show or whatever, and then you both meet and it could work. And you have 30 days to pick them out. But with an arranged marriage, you know what I'm saying? Once you're married, it's not easy just to separate. So it's quite different. Not the same.
Well, I'll say this. So I'll say it under the instance of this. So true indeed, the arranged marriage is not necessarily you know the person all the time because there have been arranged marriages where they show you who the person is, but they don't necessarily know each other. The
Right.
families have an understanding of how they're going to come together as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's cool. So the thing about it is this: I think that this can be something that can work, and I've seen it work when in its purest form, and I'll tell you why. Because you have to realize that the temperament
Where'd
that
you
we
see
live
that
in
work?
currently, it's worked on the show actually. When
Oh,
people when people aren't the representative and they're coming in with pure intent, it works. Now, when you come in having an understanding that you're on a show and you want to do this and you want to do that, because that's why they tell a lot of the people, like you have to be truthful to the process. Nobody can sit up here and tell your truth but you. But I am somewhat for it because you have a lot of people in a lot of instances that don't have the background, or you have a lot of families that are tarnished, like we're saying, and that have consumed so many things to the point where they don't even know their asshole from their mouth. So with that being said, when you have a group of it, it's almost like therapy. You come in there, it's not the fact that
it's therapy to what? To
therapy,
marry somebody on the first night?
not the
I
first
think
sight.
someone might need therapy doing that shit.
Yeah, but again,
Cut
you
that shit
have
out.
to
You do
well,
that
you
at your
have
own risk.
again. Okay, well, I'll say it this way because I wasn't finished. So when
It's
you
cool.
have professionals, it's almost the equivalent of understanding the power of therapy or a coach or anything like that. See, people don't want to go over there because they're worried about how they may look. It's not about that.
Somebody ever
And
asked?
and it's not even about that. It's about the fact that you need to come in with a person that has an unbiased opinion, that has not only done the studying, that doesn't understand who you are, but just is there to really listen and give you the solution, the proper solutions that you need. The problem is when you have a group of individuals that have grown up with you, you got people that can't see you past a certain age because, oh, I raised you, you gonna do this. They're going to give you advice based on the proper age that they see you at, not by the person that you become. When you have a group of individuals like that, or you may come from that, and they going, you need to marry this type of dude. They've been watching the Young and the Restless, not knowing that shit don't exist either. So now you got these people that are trying to lead you into a fucking divorce rate. But at least in this situation, you can have a clear defining and understanding of the people. Again, they're
How
experts.
though, bro?
They
Like like I said initially, when we first started talking about this, it takes a lifetime to get to know yourself. It's a lot of people who don't know, you know, beyond just ethnicity and shit like that. I'm talking about people don't know who they want to be in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like people might get depressed and leave the scene for months and then pop back up. That's an aspect of soul searching and getting to know oneself and shit like that. Like,
Hmm.
that's I mean, I hear what you're saying. That's a very, very, very extremely risky proposal. But at the same time, um, to a certain extent, red flags are bullshit. So, you know, it just all depends, I guess. But that's a very risky proposal.
I would say, well,
I
to the
wouldn't advocate
people,
for it.
I would if it's done in the right sentiment, because you got to realize this: you got people that are doing risky proposals that are marrying people that they think that they know too. So I
Right.
would rather choose the aspect of a professional that doesn't know you, that
What
only wants to have your best interest, because every individual
professional?
person on that panel
What do
is
you mean by professional?
well, the people that arrange it, there are professionals in different aspects of love languages and things of that nature, or spiritual consultant. Again, they don't know them, but they only know what they're on paper, and they're gearing these things towards for them to have the best outcome. If you come from a family infrastructure of a group of individuals that think that Ice Spice, damn she in the mood is the type of bitch that you need to see, you will soon fail. It doesn't matter if you got your whole motherfucking family. If they don't understand the aspect of coming together in unison and creating a certain environment that'll foster that specific type of relationship, what then do you have? You have a chaotic motherfucking ending. Because when you go out there, yes, it may take a lifetime, but you can start right now by learning yourself. You have a better opportunity, and as opposed to what we talked about, the whole climate of the temperament of our people. You're gonna go out here and marry somebody and not do it, and then and be in the same situation.
No, you
Because
just got to know what you're dealing with ahead of time. And as a people, we need to do better. Be better judgment of character. You know what I'm saying? Like some aspects of red flags are bullshit, but some aspects of red flags are, viable, and they're viable sources that need to be, double checked. You know what I'm saying? So we all have the intuition. They like to call it commonly. They like to call it a woman's intuition, and for guys they like to call it our gut feeling. You know what I'm saying? But we all have the intuition that we can listen to. You know, even when it comes to a guess. Like, say if you go somewhere and it's a trivia on the wall, the very first thing that pops up in your head, that's the God in you talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you choose to listen to the God in you, you'll dodge vast majority of these pitfalls. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to dating and relating. You know what I'm saying? So the responsibility lies with the beholder. Just how they say that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Same thing goes with the responsibility of the people that you chose to mingle with and date. You know what I'm saying? So things can go better. But at the same time, instead of making excuses for people that we see that is falling short of our ideals, we just need to have enough moxie within ourselves to walk the fuck away in situations that don't serve us, as opposed to continuing on it. And then we'll dodge a whole lot of pitfalls, that we've might have fell into in the past.
well, I won't argue that. As far as on that aspect, I think that it's a different way. I think that and you're not wrong. I think that I me personally, I think it could work because, like I said, I don't watch too much
Why don't you
reality
go on there,
TV.
man?
What the fuck I'm gonna go on there for?
So you get married. What do you mean?
No.
Yeah, you support that shit.
No.
You need to go arrange your marriage Yeah, you need to go
I
in there.
I'm
You can
not.
see.
I'm doing my
Hey,
own
hey,
before I
brother.
do that. You need to go on there. You the
No, I'm
perfect
good. I'm not.
candidate.
No, hell no. I think that shit's fucking stupid. So I
Oh,
wouldn't.
I'm doing
Why
my
would I do
work.
something I think is fucking stupid? That doesn't make any sense. But since you agree with that shit, you should try it.
Well, I told you about how I feel about marriage, and I'm doing my own work. So
Say you
I'm the
say
wrong
take it all
person.
the
I
way.
believe it can work. I can believe it can work within the grand scheme of having a better understanding of one another to get to a greater good. But no, I'm not about to go on there because I'm first of all, I don't even like being in the limelight. Second of all, I'm not for the goofy shit. Like I understand, but I am not for reality TV because the reality is you're not gonna sit up here and do me no type of way and all that other shit. I'm not coming to the reunion. I'm not doing none of that such shit. Like my mentality isn't conducive to that because it's gonna be some real life reality. I'm gonna tell everybody to part my motherfucking back and I'm gone. I'm not about to argue with you. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's just
So
how
what
I'm
if?
rocking
So
like
what
Uncle
if? Hey,
Stock.
so hold on. What if the woman she gets prearranged marriage with a guy who think like you?
Would think
Then
like me. What
yeah,
you mean as far as with marriage?
yeah. You heard what you just said, brother. I'm just saying. Yeah,
I said, I don't disagree to it, but it's just my thing about it. Again, let me be clear on this because I'm about to cook right now because you wanted, so I'm about to cook right now.
there we go.
I have a problem with the institution of what they deem as a marriage of
Oh,
the guy. I said the man, the woman, and the governmental entity, aka Big Zaddy government. That's what I have a problem with. And the
mm,
unfair and unjust ways in which they do people, usually men, in that aspect. Now,
mm.
marriage in its purest form, Allah, man and woman, yes, contractual marriage for both parties to come to the table and write things contractually of their expectation as far as what they want, of course. But Big Zaddy government is not going to control anything. I am a more pure in and pure out, brother. I don't believe in it, and I don't get fucked by the system. I fuck the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have a marriage based off your own principles on that show, or you got to go off their principles on that show.
More than likely you're gonna have that's another thing. You'll probably have to go on the principalities of that because they have to get it annulled and things of that nature on your
Mhm.
on the 2 months, the 2 or 3 months or whatever that you go on a honeymoon phase and then you live with each other for about a month or two. So that would be, but it'd be once you because when in a marriage when you get divorced so early they call it an annulment. It's like it never existed.
Mm-hmm. In 30
Yeah,
days.
so
I
that's
go on
why.
the show just to do it. Hey, 30 days, 29 on the 29th day, I'm divorcing you. I don't give a fuck what happened. It's over. I'm getting the cheese, dog. I don't give a fuck.
Hey,
If you put me on
amen.
that
Listen,
show, do
hey,
you get money? Hold on. Do you get money for going on that show?
I don't know. I
If
mean,
you don't get money, if you don't get paid, I'm not doing it.
well, see,
But
that's the
if
whole.
you get paid, I'll do it for 29 days.
So,
I'll be
I
faithful as
think.
hell for 29 days, and it's over.
So here's my thing. I think that this is why people only come on there in its purest form. I haven't heard of anything. I'm gonna do some more research, but I'm going off my judgment. I don't think that they do get paid. I think people actually go on there to actually facilitate and foster an actual happily ever after.
Yeah, that's like some
That's what
hopeless
makes it.
shit. I'm not. I ain't desperate. Like that's some desperate, hopeless shit.
Well, I
In my
mean,
opinion,
yeah, I get
that's
it,
just my
and
opinion.
you know,
So
yeah, no, I respect it. I respect it. I don't. Me personally, when you have a when you understand a certain temperament of the climate that you're in, I don't think that you would deem that as hopeless for
I do.
ones that are out here. And you, to your perspective, like I said, you a different individual, Aki. For every rarity, there comes a major majority. A lot of people would feel that way. You got to have an
Mhm.
understanding too that you have people that have done the work plus that plus some plus several marriages, and then they like, well, shit. I listen. I done tried this, that, and the fourth. This, that, and the fourth.
Maybe
What
they
if?
didn't.
But
Maybe
maybe
they
they
tried the
did.
same thing over and over again in the same
Well, we
way.
can speculate. Well, we can
Most people,
speculate a
most
lot of
times,
things, but my whole point is, I don't think somebody would go on there if they're not getting paid to have genuine intent, other than to have a successful relationship, other than to have a successful happily ever after. I don't think anybody in their right mind would go on there. And don't get me wrong. Yes, it's people that want that yaper up front like handicap parking. Let's not act stupid. But I don't think, and again, I'm saying this off of my basis. I'll do my research to see if they do, but I don't think that they get paid for that. Me personally.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, more power to the people, man. I just know that it takes a lifetime to get to know yourself, man. So to get to know another person in an instant, that brings a lot of challenge, but it also shows the strength, for the people that can make it past that, make it past those 30 days, and they want to be in a successful relationship. More power to them, because, like I said, it takes a lot to get to know yourself. And so to get another person, especially in the instantaneous aspect, that's a whole nother ball game. So that's crazy. And that's also like arranged marriage that you was talking about. That the portion that you gotta get to know this person. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's arranged or not. See what I'm saying? So yeah. Give it to me on that. But that's still arranged, on the first day, or meeting someone on your own volition in public or however you meet people. You know what I'm saying? It still takes that time to get to know one.
Yeah, I mean, regardless whichever way, it's gonna take some time. But if you got the confidence to get in that arena and go ahead and really just have an open mind with that person, via it, whether it be arranged or married at first sight, and that's what you get out of it. Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for a solution that's different, because what we know and what we can see the temperament of the climate of what we're having right now. If this was a grade and if this was a grade in school, everybody would be failing.
Well, everybody,
you know what I'm saying?
Everybody without a nationality. True.
Well, yeah, I get that, but
that's the biggest part. Because culture, because culturally, we as a people are loving people. You know what I'm saying? And we love to be together and shit like that. And all the pimping and the hoeing and all of that shit, that came to us, from outside of our community. That's not natural for us as a people. You know what I'm saying? So we're naturally loving people. So if we get that shit out of our heads, all the bullshit that has infected us, you know what I'm saying? We'll be all right. So like I say, it starts with a small message, you know what I'm saying? A voice, and getting it out there. Like something like we're doing right now. It's something that some of us do on a daily basis. Like I do this shit on a daily basis. Everybody that's coming in contact with. So I talk to them about some real stuff they need to be talked to about. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's the start. We got to start somewhere. And the reason why I always bring up the nationality is because culturally, we don't see the divorce rate high in communities that know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like the people that know who they are, it's part of their culture to be together and propagate people, to expand the people. You know what I'm saying? So without that attitude, that's why we're losing. That's why we're failing. And that's why our divorce rate is so high, because we don't know who we are as a collective.
Oh yeah, well shit, yeah, because understanding who you are, you'll know how to guide yourself, because nobody can tell you who you were or who you can possibly be. So I'm not disagreeing with that either, because culturally, shit, at one specific point, well, actually, all throughout time, we've always been people that have stayed together.
Right.
We've always been that person. We've even when America was even established at a certain time, we had the highest marriage rate of any other culture, except up until the 1960s. So, and that's blackdemographics.com, I want to say. So, that's a true thing. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. You're not saying anything off. You're not saying anything off center. Hey, I'm a Muur too, so I get it in more bite. So that's what it is. But I don't know. I guess this is towards the end of the show. I appreciate you, good people.
Same here.
We can get it. You got anything else you want to say, Noble, or how can the people get in contact with you?
Well, the people can get at me. Well, first and foremost, the reason why people should get in tune with me is that I'm a natural herbalist. You know what I'm saying? I'm also a gemologist, energy worker, healer, different things such as that. And I can also help you astrologically get to know yourself as well. So, on any of those aspects, healing, or energy work, please get in contact with me. And you can get in contact with me on my business line, which is 919. That's the area code. My area code 216, Cleveland, baby. But you know what I'm saying? When I contacted this
Yeah.
business, they gave me 919 766 2951. And you can also reach me on Instagram at I underscore am underscore the real underscore noble kind. So again, that's I underscore am underscore the real underscore noble kind. Get at me. Peace.
Hey, Mr. Morbite just out of sight, about to ignite. Hey man, get up with me, man. I guess on IG, capital A, capital J, three uppercase I's like the number three Cleveland. And back to it, ain't nothing but to do it. I appreciate everybody once again. Thanks for tuning in. And again, holla at y'all and make sure y'all stay dangerous out there. Boom!
Peace.
God dog it. Hold on. Thank you. No, that's not it. Good dog. More. Thank you. Where's the damn? Okay. Well, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. I can't find the dang on outro, so it's not coming up. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to More Than Misiana Station, where we don't bring no static, but we sure no bring the noise, no staticradio.net.
You
Listen,
want me to sing for the outro?
you don't have to.
You because I got a beautiful angelic voice. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You sure?
Oh, well,
People
you go
like,
ahead. Go ahead,
oh,
then.
hold on. No, this for Tina Turner. What love got to do? Got to do that. Hey, that's all I know. That's all part I know. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
that's good enough. That's good enough. Thank
For the
you.
outro. All right, then.
All right. Okay, here we go, y'all.
Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor. Systematic oppression, leaving families torn. We was kings and queens the minute we was born. Treat us like a pawn, imperialize the lawns. If we ain't bearing arms, how we really strong? How we gonna go to war if our pockets ain't long? Create a black Wall Street, then they dropping a bomb. Manipulate the weather, man creating a storm. Hanging is a norm if you don't wanna conform. Now cases is adjourned without a concern. Racism ain't genetic, it's gotta be learned. The jail was where they need to be without a return. They say it's free, but freedom simply gotta be earned. Constitution and always simply gotta be burned as the world turns. Research cause you gotta discern. Study up, cause there's always knowledge to learn. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor. Why they claim peace instead they giving us war? Drew Ali is in my core, his principles not ignored. Love, truth, and peace is worthy to be explored. Freedom and justice essential so we can soar. As above, so below ain't a motto, but it's a law. Geometry sacred is power can open doors. Why they mention this slavery, but not what happened before. If you want me to vote, reparations they need restored. We deserve more instead of beating down on the floor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor, like a Moor. I'm excellent like a Muur, like a Muur, like a Muur, like a Muur. Feel it in your pores, I'm excellent like a Muur, like a Muur, like a Muur, like a
Now, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to More Than Meets the Eye on the station where we don't bring no static, but we sure enough bring the noise on staticradio.net. Make sure you guys check us out on social media where we absolutely love to hear from you on Facebook.com/slash No Static Radio LLC, on Twitter at No Static _ Radio, on Instagram at The Real _ No Static Radio, and on YouTube at No Static Radio. You can also catch us on our newest platform, Discover.tv. I will handle that right now with you guys on because I should have been handled it a while ago. I am bugging out. But yeah, Discover.tv. So to explain to you a little bit about Discover. Oh, that's a new one. About Discover.tv is that you can go live on there just like this and get some pretty cool stuff. Let me see. There's so many people that are a part of the platform, like Monique and the Breakfast Club is now on there and stuff. So you guys come and check it out. It's Discovered.tv. That's Discovered.tv. Let me see. I was trying to do it, but hey, I guess I gotta do it. Images lower there now. Yeah, so I'll just make sure that I get it up so that you guys we won't go another week. We won't go another week with it. Here. I'm doing it right now, you guys. It's a super dope platform that I want you guys to go check it out. It's Discovered.tv, not Discovery, Discovered. It is Discovery is the apparent platform. So it's Discovered.tv. I got it now. Oh shoot. Where the heck did that come from? Okay. Make sure I got it super big. So you guys can see it. So yeah, there it is right there. Discover.tv, our newest platform. Go check us out. Just type in No Static Radio, all one word, just like everything else. Just like everything else. Yeah. So go make sure you go check us out on that. And for replays of this show and others, to go check us out at mixcloud.com, where you can pull up each individual show and listen to it on this platform. And for continuous streaming, that means no interruptions, no get refreshing the page. You don't have to refresh. It rebuffs on its own. So you can do that on tunein.com. Continuous streaming on tunein.com, live on liveradio.net or Media Q. And for all things No Static Radio, even though the site is about to go back into construction status, you guys, because got some major updates to do to it, but for now you can go check us out at www.nostaticradio.net, soon to be under construction, and where you can see everything, in depth look at all our great show hosts, up and coming events and more. www.nostaticradio.net. Listen, I done mumbled on enough. But you guys take care. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning with Body Talk with Al Bridges here on Your Voice of the Revolution on staticradio.net, powered by Google, partnered with Colors, and sponsored by Lamont Avenue Wines and Hot Girls Gear. Peace out, you guys. Stay safe.